Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. Today, I'm going to show you how to install Microsoft SQL Server on Windows 10 and 11 SQL Server Management Studio Complete Guide. So along with SQL Server, we will also be installing SQL Server Management Studio or SSMS, which provides a graphical interface to manage databases easily. So in this tutorial, you will learn how to download and install Microsoft SQL Server on Windows, install SQL Server Management Studio, how to create a database and a table, how to insert data and retrieve it using SQL queries, and we'll also go through how to delete a table from a database. So by the end of this guide, you will have a fully functional Microsoft SQL Server installation and understand the basics of database operations. If you have any question, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Now let's get started. To begin, we're going to start our tutorial on downloading Microsoft SQL Server. So onto your local browser, go ahead and search for SQL Server download. So you should be able to see the first option in there and you'll get redirected in here. So if you want to get redirected immediately in here, you could copy this one out or the URL. So you could search www.microsoft.com/en/us/SQL Server downloads. So once you're already in here, you are already onto the official Microsoft website. So here onto the download page. So we have the download page in here. Click onto this one. We're going to choose SQL Server Express Edition since that one is a free version. So let's scroll down here. And as you can see, we have here the Express. So this is SQL Server 2022 free edition of SQL Server, ideal for development and production for desktop, web, and small server application. So to proceed, we'll have to click on download now, and this should go ahead and redirect you to the automatic download for that. So you'll just have to wait for that one to be finished. So once that one is complete, you'll just have to navigate to your downloads folder. So once you're already onto your downloads folder, you'll just have to locate the downloaded SQL Server installer and double click to run it. So we have that one in here. So let's double click it. So I have installed this earlier, that is why we have two files, but let's just click onto each one in here so that we can go through or have an overview on installing this. Then right after, if prompted with a security warning, click yes to proceed. So the SQL Server Setup Wizard will open just like this. So there are three options for the installation type for this one. We have Basic, Custom, and Download Media. So for this one, we'll have to choose Basic. So if you choose this one, this will install the SQL Server database and join feature with default configuration. So you'll just have to simply click onto that. Right after, you have to accept the license agreement. So you'll have to click accept for that. Right after, the installer will display the default installation path and required disk space. So you'll just have to see that one over here and the installation location for that and have to click on install. So if this one is not your preferred location, you'll have to browse for this one. So click on install. And once the installation is complete, a confirmation screen will appear with a connection string and installation detail. So since I am done with the installation, we'll have to skip for that one here onto my end. So you'll just have to follow onto your end and wait for that one to be done. So this is how it should look like once it is downloading and installing onto your end. So you'll simply have to wait for this one. And once installation is complete, you should be able to see something like this. So in the SQL Server installation completion screen, you'll have to click on Install SSMS. So this will redirect you to Microsoft website to download SQL Server Management Studio. So simply click onto that and it should open something like this. Then right after, for us to be able to proceed, so you're just gonna go ahead and click on download SSMS in here, and it should go ahead and automatically download onto your device. So click here on download SQL Server Management Studio version 20.2. So as you can see, it is now downloading. We'll just have to wait for this one to be done. So once downloaded, head onto your downloads folder and locate the file. So as you can see on my downloads folder, I have that one already in here. We'll just have to double click onto this one to install this. So the installation process may take several minutes. We'll just have to wait for that one. So let's double click it. And as you can see, it should show something like this. So there should be an install button onto your end. And since I have installed this already, it should show something like this. So once the installation process is done or complete, you'll just have to click on close for that. So for our next step is opening and configuring SQL Server Management Studio. So for us to be able to do that, we'll have to go ahead and open the Start menu and search for SQL Server Management Studio SSMS. So let's close this installer first and let's search. So we could see that one already in here. And for us to be able to proceed, we'll have to click on Open for this. Now, once it is launched, you should be able to see the screen, which is the Connect to Server window. So ensure that server type is set to Database Engine, server name is correctly detected in here, and authentication mode is set to Windows Authentication. So also make sure to trust server certificates so that there won't be issues on connecting them. So click on Connect in here and wait for it to be successfully connected to the SQL server. So if there are no issues or error, then you're good to go. So on SSMS, to create a database, we have the databases in here. So we'll just have to expand this first. Click onto this plus icon on the Object Explorer. So right after, to go ahead and create a new database, we'll have to right click onto the databases in here. So you should be able to see the option to create new database. So as you can see, it will open something like this to create a new database, and let's add in a database name. So for this one, we're gonna name this TestDB. So we're gonna put this one here. And once you're done, you'll just have to click on OK. So this new database should appear under our databases in here. So we have that one here. Now we could go ahead and expand this database as well. So since we're here already, click onto this plus icon and let's head here on tables. So we're gonna add following columns onto our tables in here. So you could expand that, click onto the expand icon here onto its side, or simply click onto the table in here. So if you click onto that or simply right click onto this, there should be an option just like how we created the database to create a new table. So hover on new and click on table. So this is where we're going to go ahead and add in following columns for our database. So it asks us for our first database name. So we're going to name this ID. And then for the data type for that, we're going to use integer for this. So you could search that one or simply go ahead and scroll onto the different options in here. For our next column name, let's add here name. Then right after, onto the data type, we're going to choose in here this one, the 50 or character, and then it limits to 50. So we're gonna go ahead and uncheck allow nulls in here, and then we'll just have to click on save for this one. So to save this, we have the save here on file. Click on save table, or you could use the shortcut key, which is Control S. So once you save that, it will ask for a table name, and we could name this like users. Click on OK, and as you can see, it should go ahead and add already the columns onto your table. Now, let's go ahead and insert data onto our table. So we'll just need to open a new query window by clicking on new query in here. So we're gonna enter commands in here. So let's open this first. And as you can see, there is a big space in here for us to be able to type in our query. So let's type in the command here. So as you can see in here onto our query, we have added in here to insert onto our database or onto our table users the different values, which are this one. These are separated by comma. We have here the number 1 and 2, which are the integers or the ID, and the names in here for the name. So these characters are for the name. So to go ahead and proceed or add this onto our table, we'll have to execute this. So it should go ahead and show you a successful thing in here once it is done. So it seems that there might be some errors onto our query in here. So let's fix this first. So we'll try to execute that again. And as you can see, it is now completed. So since that one is done, let's try to view this onto the query table or onto the table. So let's go ahead and type in the following command. So let's remove all of this and type in this. Then right after, we'll have to do the same thing and execute that. And as you can see, we have successfully added already in here. So since we have executed it 2 times earlier, so there are two things that has been added in here. So both of them has been added twice. So we have the ID in here and the name for that. So for us to be able to go ahead and remove this or delete the table, so this is the following query for that. Then right after, you'll just have to do the same thing, execute that, and it should go ahead and remove the users from your table. And that should remove the users from the database. And that is how easy you install Microsoft SQL Server on Windows 10 and 11, set up SQL Server Management Studio, create a database, perform the basic SQL operation, and learn how to delete a table. So if you found this tutorial helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more database and programming tutorials. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching and happy coding!